about to start today's activity. Thank you. First, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. It was a kind of a rainy day, and this means a whole lot to the lodge. So again, thank you everybody for coming out. And I will leave my speech to a little later in the process. So, let's roll. Brother Marshall,
Worshipful Master,
will you please see if there is any distinguished guests in the evening?
Worshipful Master, it is my pleasure to present to you the Right Worshipful Grand Marshal of the Grand Lodge of Massachusetts, Brother Richard Maggio.
Worshipful Master, it is my pleasure to announce that Most Worshipful Brother Paul Fulton Gleason, Grand Master of Masons in Massachusetts, is present for the purpose of a fraternal visit to this lodge and will now be received.
Right Worshipful Grand Marshal, you will convey our maternal greetings to the Grand Master, and we will wait forthwith by committee.
Worshipful Master,
That committee will consist of all past masters of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, chaired by Worshipful Rhode.
will all past masters of Ezekiel Bates Lodge please rise?
Going home after here, so.
Please rise.
The Most Worshipful, the Grand Master.
my pleasure this afternoon to present to you Most Worshipful Paul F. Gleason, Grand Master of Masons in Massachusetts, who is in the Ezekiel Bates Lodge for a fraternal visit.
Very good. Thank you. Worship Master, thank you. Now we can ask the rest. If you'll seat your lodge and your guests,
Please be seated.
I'll introduce our very distinguished
Right Worshipful Roger W. Waugh Sr., Senior Grand Ward. Most Worshipful Donald G. Hicks Jr., Past Grand Master. Most Worshipful Richard J. Stewart, Past Grand Master. Most Worshipful Peter Yamaguchi, Grand Master, Rhode Island. Most Worshipful Ray Hassel, Past Grand Master, Rhode Island. Right Worshipful Glenn Carlson, Deputy Grand Master, Rhode Island. Right Worshipful Robert Elston, District Deputy Grand Master, Rhode Island. Right Worshipful Robert Driscoll, Grand Lecturer, Grand Lodge, Rhode Island. Worshipful Scott Alger, Grand Master of Ceremonies for the Deputy Grand Master of Rhode Island. Worshipful Keith Moen, Grand Master of Ceremonies for the District Deputy Grand Master of Rhode Island. Right Worshipful Christopher J. Lindsay, District Deputy Grand Master, District 16. Worshipful Joseph A. Manzo, Senior Grand Deacon. Worshipful Victor P. Dias, Grand Steward. Worshipful John J. Papano, Grand Steward.
Worshipful Guy A. Matrano, Grand Pursuant.
brother that keeps it all together for me. Right Worshipful Baggio, the Grand Marshal.
Let me introduce. This is Worshipful Brother.
Good afternoon, everyone. We made it between the thunderstorms. We have a wonderful day ahead of us, and a real treat for me and many of the brethren here. We're going to, I signed a dispensation that we could have this ceremony with the understanding that it would be strictly according to Massachusetts ritual. You and I both know that probably won't happen. What we're going to hear today, I hope, we will call it Massachusetts ritual. It will be an interesting mix of Rhode Island and Massachusetts ritual, and it will be good. That said, I will call on Worshipful Keith Godwin to commence the ceremonies.
That's okay. Distinguished guests, brothers, family, friends. This is an important time for Ezekiel Bates Lodge. So you're going to hear a lot of we mentioned. Because without the brothers, without the officers, without the families, we couldn't have come this far. So it was an easy 2 years when you have the support of all the people I just mentioned. And I am excited and proud of all the new officers and all the new brothers that we've brought through here. I feel very confident that the officers being installed this afternoon will continue the work, the excitement, and everything beside. With this lodge, we've come so far in 5 years. you can't be afraid to move forward. In this lodge, we've had a lot of ideas. We've had a lot of bad ideas. But nonetheless, you move forward. And you live and you learn. And the thing that I learned the most is what works this year probably won't work next year. So to the incoming officers, listen to your brethren. Listen to the other brethren from other lodges. Come up with unique ideas. Ezekiel Bates is a unique lodge. For any of you that have been around us, you do a lot of travel. We do a lot of fundraising. We do a lot of help. So we should continue that. And I know they will. And I mentioned family. And the officers here, well, most of the brothers here, that Ezekiel Bates Lodge, we are out probably as much as Grand Lodge. We're out 5, sometimes 6 nights a week. And it's been a long, long 2 years for me. Brother Marshall,
Worshipful Master,
will you please escort Gail to the east? Brother Secretary, please take it. Flowers by themselves. Nope, by themselves.
Worshipful Master, I believe you have to sit.
So, most of you know Gail. If you don't, this is Gail. She, like all the other wives and girlfriends of our offices, Ezekiel Bates Lodge, are really the cornerstone. Nice. Couldn't have done it without them. We love them very much. Our children use the word we a lot. So, me personally, I would like to thank you for letting me do masonry. See you next. Again, this isn't about me, this is about we. So, like many of the recent past masters of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, it's now my time to sit back, let the brothers do what they know needs to be done, and sit back and just give them information or help them when asked. We found that the brothers can go along without the pesky past masters. So, with that, again, thank you all for coming. Mark,
Worshipful Master,
will you please escort the installing master?
Worshipful Master, I present to you Worshipful Brother Glenn Cunningham, who will be the installing master for this evening's initiation.
Thank you.
Worshipful, congratulations on a wonderful 2 years.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure to work with you on this lodge over the last time. And if I may,
The floor is yours.
thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you to perform this service for some very good friends, for a wonderful lodge, and for a great family. Yes, we. It is a word that maybe we bandy about an awful lot, but it has a great deal of meaning. As the old story goes, one stick alone easily bends and breaks. Together we are very strong. And this lodge has proved that working together, they can do almost anything, and I congratulate them. I'd like to introduce my accompaniment, if I may call them that. Worshipful Bill Cheatham, who will be assisting as chaplain. Thank you, Bill. And Right Worshipful Heath Verberg will be assisting as installing marshal. And Brother Installing Marshal, so I didn't grab me quick enough. Would you please retire the officers of Ezekiel Bates Lodge and return to the officers elected and appointed for the ensuing Masonic year?
The officers of Ezekiel Bates will rise and fall in.
Did she goof at all?
Would you please present Brother Ryan Simmons the keys to be installed as master of Ezekiel Bates Lodge by most worshipful Brother Pierre Yacobucci, the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient and Honorable Free and Accepted Masons of the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantation. Most worshipful. We get
Worshipful Master, I present Brother Brian Edward Simmons to be installed master of this lodge. He has been found to be of good morals and great skill, true and trusty. And as he is a lover of the whole fraternity, wheresoever dispersed across the face of the earth, we doubt not he will discharge his duty with fidelity.
Any worshipful Marshal? You will place,
Yep.
place the master-elect at the altar for his obligation.
I bet Brian's nervous.
My brother, you will now recite your official obligation.
I solemnly promise, on the honor of a Mason, that in the office of Master of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, I will, according to the best of my abilities, strictly comply with the constitutions and regulations of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Massachusetts, the bylaws of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, and any other ancient Masonic usages, so far as the same shall come to my knowledge.
My brother, previous to your investiture, it is necessary that you signify your assent to the ancient charters and regulations which point out the duties of the master of the lodge. Do you agree to be a good man and true and strictly obey the moral law? Do you agree to be a peaceable subject and cheerfully conform to the laws of the country in which you live? You promise not to be concerned with plots and conspiracies against government, but patiently to submit to the decisions of the Supreme Legislature. You agree to pay proper respect to the civil magistrate, work diligently, live credibly, and act honorably by all men. You agree to hold in veneration the original patrons and rulers of the Order of Freemasonry and their regular successors, supreme and subordinate according to their stations, and submit to the awards and resolutions of the brethren when convened, in every case consistent with the Constitution of the craft. You agree to avoid private peeps and calls and guard against intemperances and excess. You agree to be cautious in carriage and behavior, courteous to your brethren, and faithful to your lodge. You promise to respect genuine brethren and discountenance all apostles and descendants from the original clan of Freemasonry. You agree to promote the general good of society, to cultivate the social virtues, and propagate a knowledge of the arts. You promise to pay homage to the Grand Master for the time being, and his officers when duly installed, and strictly conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge or General Assembly of Freemasonry that is not subversive of the principles and groundwork of Freemasonry. You admit that it is not in the power of any man or body of men to make innovations in the body of Freemasonry. You promise regular attendance on the committees and communications of the Grand Lodge, on receiving proper notice, and pay attention to all the duties of Freemasonry on future occasions. You admit that no new lodge shall be formed without permission of the Grand Lodge, and no countenance shall be given to any irregular lodge, or any person clandestinely initiated therein, being contrary to the ancient charters of the craft. You admit that no man can be regularly made a Mason or a member of a regular lodge without previous notice and due inquiry into his character. You agree that no visitor shall be received into your lodge without previous due examination and having produced proper vouchers of having been initiated in a regular lodge. These are the regulations of free and accepted Masons. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations as Masters have done in all ages before you?
I do.
Oh, my brother, in consequence of your cheerful conformity of the ancient charges and regulations of craft, you are now to be installed Master of this lodge with the full confidence of your brethren for the skill, care, and capacity to govern the same. You will arise and wait for the pleasure of the lodge.
I'm tired. We're almost done.
My brother, you have been elected master of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, and it is with pleasure that I invest you with the jewel of your office, the square. The square is an implement made use of by operative masons to fit and adjust the stones of the building, that all the parts be properly agreed. But you, as worshipful master, are admonished by the symbolic meaning of the square upon your breast to preserve that moral deportment which should ever characterize good masonry. You are also to use your influence to prevent angry discussions or ill feelings from disrupting the harmony of your lodge. I now present to you the three great lights of masonry: the Holy Bible, the square, and the compasses. The Bible, the great light in masonry, will guide you to all truth. It will direct your paths to the temple of happiness and point out to you the whole duty of man. The square teaches us to harmonize our conduct agreeably to the principles of morality and virtue. And the compasses teach us to limit our desires in every station, that rising to eminence by merit, we may live respected and die corrected. I now present to you the constitutions and regulations of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Massachusetts. Cause it to be read in your lodge, that none may pretend ignorance of its regulations. I present to you the bylaws and records of Ezekiel Bates Lodge. The records that you are to see properly kept, and the bylaws carefully and punctually executed. You now receive in charge the charter, by the authority of which this lodge is held. As its lawful custodian, you are to see it properly cared for and transmitted to your successor in office. You do it. You're in charge. I now present you with a gavel, which is also called a hiram. For as Solomon, the king of Israel, was aided in his labors by Hiram the builder, so are you, as master of this lodge, aided by the Hiram to preserve order in your meetings. I now escort you to the Oriental chair, once occupied by Solomon, king of Israel. And may a due portion of his wisdom descend upon and abide with you. Master Masons will rise. Taking your cue from the Marshal, salute the newly installed Master with public grand honor. Please be seated. Commercial Master Grand Honor and Installed Master of this lodge, it is your privilege to install all the other officers. Barring that, I think Mother Cunningham has an alternative, but as Master, it's your choice.
It would be my honor.
Worshipful, I would be happy to yield to you. As it is your wish that we continue as planned, I will do so. Brother Installing Marshal.
Worshipful Master.
We will place the elected officers of Ezekiel Bates Lodge around the altar to receive their official obligation.
I'll come back in.
My brother, you have been elected as officers of Ezekiel Bates Lodge. And one of the first things that we learned when we entered Freemasonry is that no man should ever enter upon any great or important undertaking without invoking the blessing of deity. In conformity with that wonderful advice, I will invite the chaplain
We're not
to
having
the
a
altar to bless our worshipful song.
Please rise.
Supreme Architect of the universe, we are grateful for those who have led Ezekiel Bates Lodge through the past years. It is because they were strong and dedicated to the high principles of Masonry that we are here today. Through the trials, difficulties, and criticisms that have come to Masonry, the craft has remained strong and committed to its high ideals. Thank you for our worshipful master, his wife, and their leadership. We know of their wholehearted commitment to the high standards and expectations of Masonry. Continue to give them adequate strength to meet the heavy demands of the office. Bless us all in our support of them, that this lodge may become stronger and even more relevant to today's needs. We pray also for those brothers before us who are assuming new responsibilities in Ezekiel Bates Lodge. May they be reminded of the high concepts of Freemasonry, and in doing so, may they be guided by your love and strength to be equal to the tasks that lie ahead of them. Be with their families also as they support these new officers. May we all be open to your guidance as they work together to help make Masonry stronger, more viable, and to display a greater desire to serve you. Amen.
So be. Be seated.
My brothers, you will repeat after me your official in the office of, which I am about to be installed, do solemnly promise upon the honor of a Mason that I will strictly comply with the constitutions and regulations of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Massachusetts, together with all other ancient Masonic usages, so far as the same will come to my knowledge. Marshal, you will seat the officers and present the senior warden to be installed. To be installed by our worshipful Glenn.
My brother, you have been elected senior warden of this lodge, and I now invest you with the jewel and implement of your office. The level demonstrates that we are all descended from the same stock, partake of the same nature, and share the same hope. And no distinction among men is necessary to preserve subordination, yet no eminence of station should make us forget that we are brethren. For he who is placed on the lowest spoke of fortune's wheel may be entitled to our regard. For a time will come, and the wisest knows not how soon, when all distinctions, but that of goodness, will cease, and death, that grand level of human greatness, will reduce us to the same state. Your regular attendance at your stated meetings of your lodge is essentially necessary. For in the absence of the master, you are to govern this lodge, and in his presence, you are to assist him in the government of it. I firmly rely on your knowledge of Freemasonry and attachment to this lodge for the faithful discharge of the duties of this important trust. Look well to the west.
Brother Michael Dumas to be installed junior warden of Ezekiel Bates Lodge by Right Worshipful Robert Driscoll.
My brother, you have been elected junior warden of Ezekiel Bates Lodge. I now invest you with jewel and the implement of your office. The plumb admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations, to hold the scale of justice in equal poise, to observe the just medium between intemperance and pleasure, and to keep our passions and prejudices in line with our duty. You are now a voting member of the Grand Lodge, and as such, you are expected to attend the quarterly communications and district deputy visits as a representative of your lodge.
Your regular and punctual attendance is particularly requested. I have no doubt that you will execute the duty due to your present position with fidelity. Look well to yourself.
Marshal will present Worshipful Keith Goldman to be installed treasurer of Ezekiel Bates Lodge. My brother, you have been elected treasurer of this lodge, and I invest you with the jewel of your honors. It is your duty to take charge of the stock and property of the lodge and to receive all monies, keeping a true and perfect account of the same, and to pay them out by order of the worshipful master and consent of the lodge. Your fidelity to the fraternity, I have no doubt, will lead you to the faithful discharge of your duties. Congratulations. Brother Marshal, you will present to the east Brother Kevin Doyle to be installed secretary of Ezekiel Bates Lodge. By Worshipful Marquis Host.
My brother, you have been elected secretary of this lodge. With pleasure, I invest you with the jewel of your office. Your duty is to carefully observe the proceedings of the lodge, keeping a true and perfect record of the same. Receive all monies from the hands of the brethren and pay them to the treasurer, taking his receipt therefor. Your duties and well-being of the care and preservation of this lodge will undoubtedly recommend the merit and esteem and applause of your brother. Congratulations, brother. I'm sure that the paperwork is in good hands.
Worshipful Master, would you care to read a list of your appointed officers? I would. Have one on your person? I have one on my person.
Marshal William Richards. Chaplain, Justin Alves. Senior Deacon, David Thompson. Junior Deacon, William Swenson III. Senior Steward, Anthony Sherma. Junior Steward, Jason French. Inside Sentinel, Daryl McTagg. Organist, Stuart Studley Jr. Tyler, Greg Bates.
Excellent job, Worshipful. It's the exact same list that's on this piece of paper. Brother and Spalding Marshal.
Worshipful Master.
Please assemble the appointed officers around the altar to receive their official obligation. You will repeat after me your official obligation. I solemnly promise.
I solemnly promise,
Upon the honor of a Mason.
upon the honor of a Mason,
That in the office.
that in the office
Which I have been appointed.
which I have been appointed,
I will, to the best of my abilities.
I will, to the best of my abilities,
Strictly comply.
strictly comply
With the constitutions and regulations.
with the constitutions and regulations
Of the most worshipful Grand Lodge.
of the most worshipful Grand Lodge
Of Massachusetts.
of Massachusetts,
Together with.
all
ancient Masonic usages.
all ancient Masonic usages,
So far as the same.
so far as the same
Shall come to my knowledge.
shall come to my knowledge.
Brother Marshal, you will seat the appointed officers and present to the east Brother Justin Alves to be installed chaplain. My brother, you have been appointed chaplain of this lodge, and I invest you with this jewel, the emblem of your office. It is your special duty to care for the spiritual needs of this lodge and its brethren. In all your interactions with them, you are to allude to brighter worlds and lead the way. Congratulations. please present to the east for installation Worshipful William Richards to be installed Marshal by Right Worshipful Richard Maggio.
My brother, you are appointed marshal of this lodge, and I invest you with this jewel. As the emblem of your office, and place in your hands this baton as the badge of your office. It is your duty to organize the lodge, form and conduct all processions, introduce and accommodate visiting brethren, and attend to other such interests in the practice of our rites as the worshipful master shall direct.
We'll see how this works. There you go. My one short. Brother installing Marshal, would you please present to the East Worshipful David Thompson and Brother William Swenson III to be installed as senior and junior deacons of Ezekiel Bates Lodge by Worshipful Keith McKinnon.
My brothers, you have been appointed senior and junior deacons of this lodge. I place in your hands these black rods, emblems of your deputed authority. Consider the sun rising in the east, diffuses noise, light, and light all below. You, my brother, represents the sun. As the sun sets in the west, close the day, the moon rises, its silver rays pierce through the dark and mysterious night, which also can illuminate our surroundings. You, my brother, represent the moon. These are two ancient and important emblems in Freemasonry, and thus, so are your positions. So from as you, the first impression of our institution is received by the candidates, you should be particularly careful by the seriousness of your deportment. Properly prepare them for the dignified and important ceremonies of initiation. You also to assist the worship master and wardens in performance of their respective duties. And I have no doubt, my brothers, that from the watchful care and guidance of the worship master and wardens, that you will faithfully execute your duties with excellence. My brothers, I congratulate you. Godspeed.
Marshal, who will present to the east for installation as senior and junior stewards, Brother Anthony Sherma and Brother Jason French, who will be installed by Worshipful Robert Maddox.
My brothers, you have been appointed senior and junior stewards. I now invest you with the jewel and place in your hand the rod of your office. You are to assist the deacons in all office in the performance of their duties, to see the tables are well refreshed. The tables are properly refreshed. Your earlier see the attendance are properly refreshed. Fervency and zeal are qualities of your performance.
Congratulations. Brother Installing Marshal, you will present to the east for installation as Tyler, Brother Greg Bates. Brother, you have been appointed Tyler of this lodge, and I invest you with this jewel of your office. And place in your hand this sword, which you are to carry the performance of that office. It is Tyler's duty to guard the outer door of the lodge room, and to see that none pass or repass except such as have permission and are duly qualified. Look well to your duty. Brother Installing Marshal, will you please present to the east to be installed as Inside Sentinel, Brother Darrell McPay. You have been appointed Inside Sentinel of this lodge, and I invest you with this jewel, the emblem of your office. It is your particular duty to guard the inner door of the lodge room and allow none to pass or repass except such as who have received permission from their worshipful master, and you are to act under his direction. Congratulations. You might not come for me. Brother Installing Marshal, you will present to the east for installation Brother Stuart Studley Jr., the installed organist.
We should have asked him to sing on it.
Have you ever heard of him sing? Me either. Not willing to take a chance. My brother, you have been appointed organist of this lodge, and I invest you with this jewel of your office. Your duty is to attend to the musical harmony of this lodge under the direction of the worshipful master, and to see that suitable music is played at all of our events and services. I was surprised to find you down there. I've seen you in many places, but never behind the keyboard. However, I have no doubt from what I've heard that your talent is broad and extensive, and obviously extends to that as well. I can only ask that remember that as harmony is the strength and support of all institutions, the harmony over which you supervise will encourage our companions and brothers to perform to the utmost of their ability. Congratulations. And I will not sing on his return, which is a favor, trust me. I believe that I have installed or have installed everyone on the list. Is there anyone present who'd like to install in anything? In that case, we will make the official proclamation. Brother Mark.
Worshipful Master.
Having installed the officers of Ezekiel Bates Lodge for the ensuing year, would you please make the official proclamation?
I have been directed to proclaim, and I do hereby proclaim, that the master, wardens, and other officers elected and appointed of Ezekiel Bates Lodge have been regularly installed, and that Ezekiel Bates Lodge is prepared to act on any business which may legally come before it. This proclamation is made from the east, the west, the south. Once, twice, thrice. All interested parties, take due notice and govern yourselves accordingly.
Worshipful Master, if I may indulge for a moment. I'd like to thank the installing marshal and the installing chaplain for assisting me today. It was a pleasure to work with both of you. I don't believe we've actually done this together, but we've worked in many places many times before. Thank you. Worshipful, how's that title sound? We'll get used to it. It'll wear right in. I can congratulate you on ascending to this high office. I thank you for allowing me the honor of participating in your installation, and with your permission, I will retire to the place I am most comfortable, the sidelines.
Most worshipful Grand Master, worshipful Master, distinguished East, Brethren all, but truly most importantly to all our wonderful guests this afternoon. As Masons, we truly love our worship. We've done a wonderful job that was done this afternoon by the installing team. Traditions. One such tradition is the giving of a charge. Charging not only the newly installed master, but the officers and brethren alike, charging them with words that should inspire them, not only in lodge, but in their home lives and in their communities. These words were first written and presented in 1795 by our then Grand Master, who happened to be one of our most beloved patriots, and it's not Tom Brady. But his worshipful brother, Paul Revere. And these are his words. Worshipful Master, this worshipful lodge, having chosen you for their master, your representative, it is now incumbent upon you, diligently, and upon every proper occasion, to inquire into the knowledge of your fellows and find them daily employment, that the art which they profess cannot be forgotten or neglected. You must avoid partiality, giving praise where it is due, employing those in the most honorable part of the work who have made the greatest advancement of the art. You must preserve union and judge in all cases amicably and mildly, prefer peace. That the society may prosper, must preserve the dignity of your lives, requiring submission to the perverse, refractory, always acting and being guided by the principles on which your authority is founded. You must, to the extent of your power, pay a constant attendance on your life, that you may see how your work flourishes, your instructions are obeyed. You must take care that neither your words nor actions should render your authority to be less regarded, but that your prudent and careful behavior may set an example and give a sanction to your power. And as brotherly love is the cement of our society, so cherish and encourage them, that the brethren may be more willing to obey the dictates of Masons than you have occasion to command. And you, the officers of this worshipful lodge, must carefully assist the master in the discharge and execution of his office, diffusing light and imparting knowledge to all the fellows under your care, keeping the brethren in just order and decorum, that nothing may disturb the peaceable serenity or obstruct the glorious effects of harmony and concord. And that this may be the better preserved, you must carefully inquire into the character of all candidates for this honorable society and recommend none to the master who, in your opinion, are unworthy of the privileges and advantages of Masonry. Keeping the civic bar in the ancient fraternity, where harmony is obstructed by the superstitious and gross. You must discharge the watch quietly, encouraging the brethren assembled to work together, that none when dismissed may go away dissatisfied. And you, brethren of this worshipful lodge, learn to follow the advice and instructions of your officers, submitting cheerfully to your amicable decisions, throwing by all resentments and prejudices towards each other. Let your chief care be to the advancement of the society you have the honor to be members of. Let there be a modest and friendly emulation among you in doing good to each other. Let complacency and benevolence flourish among you. Let your actions be squared by the rules of masonry. Let friendship be cherished, and all the advantages of that title by which we distinguish each other. That we may be brothers not only in name, but the full import, extent, and latitude of so glorious an operation. Finally, my brethren, as this association has been carried on with so much unanimity and concord, in which we greatly rejoice, so may it continue to the latest ages. May your love be reciprocal and harmonious. While these principles are uniformly supported, this lodge will be an honor to Masonry, an example to the world, and therefore a blessing to mankind. From this happy prospect, I rest assured of your steady perseverance, and conclude with wishing you all, my brethren, joy of your master, wardens, and other officers, and of your constitutional union has been. Worshipful Master, thank you so very much for allowing me to participate in this wonderful afternoon. Best of luck and Godspeed in your new life. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Well, it would appear my time is up. From the Marshal.
Worshipful Master,
We'll bring the junior and senior wardens to the east. I'd like you both to assist me, if you would. For the Marshal.
Worshipful Master,
If you would, please bring our wives up. And the princess. As Worshipful Gobi took our thunder with the family speech, we also have flowers.
Lovely vase.
We'll see you next year.
Worshipful Master.
Would you please present to the east our recent past master, Worshipful Keith Doak?
Worshipful Master, to present the past master of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, Worshipful Keith Doak, now treasurer.
So it's customary in our lodge to give a past master apron and a jewel, and now a gold tie. And a case. Real? Yeah, real case. That floppy thing you had. So first, from the brothers of the lodge, your past master apron, which you well earned. Your official gold tie, even though you still have to wear the gold bow tie. And this jewel has a lot of importance. Worshipful Carl Hollander's jewel. Hazel was going to be here to present it, but her daughter's having surgery, and she sends her regards. She's very proud to see it on you. Brother Marshall,
Worshipful Master.
please escort Worshipful Ryan Flynn to the east. Walk with us.
Worshipful Brother Brian Flynn.
Welcome to our east.
Congratulations, Worshipful.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You go around the corner and grab that. For those who don't know, Worshipful Ryan Flynn is the master of ancient York Lodge number 89 in Nashua, New Hampshire, who we've become very close with and have traveled back and forth several times. So the brethren of the lodge thought that your past master diploma is beautiful, but we thought we would have one specifically made for you. And obviously, Ryan was the first person we decided to talk to, and he was happily agreed to do it. So I'm going to have Mike read it.
Let it be known to all Freemasons, wheresoever spread over the face of the earth, that the brethren of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, under a warrant from the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Massachusetts, being of like mind and having full confidence in, did elect Worshipful Brother Keith Douglas Gopin to serve as master for 2015 to 2017. He did pay constant attention to his lodge to see how his work flourished and his instructions were obeyed. He at all times sought to preserve union, judging amicably and mildly, preferring peace so that the society will continue to flourish. Our worshipful brother, having labored long in the quarries and having governed his lodge with fidelity, is given this patent as a symbol of respect and admiration by his fellows of the craft and is celebrated for his achievement. Signed this day by Kevin Doyle, Lodge Secretary.
That is awesome. It will look good in the museum someday.
Everything ends up in the museum.
You got to turn it around. I'm sure Joe would like to take a picture.
Joe, all right. Always sneak in the back. This is unbelievable, brothers. You're right, the Grand Lodge one is beautiful. This is more than anything I would have hoped for. Again, you heard the word "we" a lot. And this was very easy to be Master Bates Lodge with the brothers behind. Thank you.
Brother Marshall, could you return your money?
We neglected to do something a little bit ago, so if I can get all Master Masons to please rise. We will afford the public grand honors to our Grand Master, taking our cue from the Marshal.
Thank you, Worship.
Please be seated. Can you hear it, Jason? Good? If you haven't figured it out, we have an AB club. And they do a great job on really getting everything out there. You may notice that there's microphones around and a camcorder up in the balcony, and right now you're being live streamed to the world. Probably should have told everyone earlier, but it's still there. So, I wrote a little something because I thought it was necessary. Most worshipful, distinguished East, right worshipfuls, brethren, ladies, and guests. In the words of Robert Kennedy, there are those that look at things the way they are and ask why. We dream of things that never were and ask why not. That is what Ezekiel Bates Lodge is now. It's a lodge of action. Though our work is far from complete. But when I stopped a few days ago and thought back of everything we've actually accomplished in 5 years, I'm completely amazed. And it doesn't happen without we. The message will continue. Everything we do is we. If one of us does a whole bunch of stuff, it's we. We'll handle that on the inside. I believe Freemasonry is on the cusp of entering its greatest age. The world is full of hate and sadness, and good men are looking to find deeper meaning in life. Why are we here? Freemasonry is the place to come and meet like-minded men. We need to learn from our predecessors and advance their work. Freemasonry is built on the shoulders of giants: Franklin, Washington, Hancock, Roosevelt, Glenn, Aldrich. The list can go on for days. But that's our past. This is our time to produce great men. I guarantee an afternoon with Most Worshipful Yakabuchi or Worshipful Glenn Cunningham will change your life. Or to take a look at one of Worshipful Flint's artworks and the detail that's in it and the passion that's behind it. It'll take your breath away. I see a room full of giants who have made an impact on me and we. It is our duty as this generation's Masons to bring good men in so they can be impacted the way we have. Last month, Worshipful Gobin and I headed to Albany for the Northeast York Rite Leadership Conference. Most Worshipful John Palmer led an 8-hour course on leadership. I have to admit we were reluctant on the time, but we were pleasantly surprised. During that course, Most Worshipful Palmer discussed different personalities, but not in a typical sense, broken down into shapes: triangles, rectangles, circles, and squiggles. Triangle is driven by achievement, self-motivated, gets things done, but at times can be insensitive to those in his way. The rectangle is extremely detail-oriented, hardworking, methodical, and never completes a task without it being perfect. The circle, the people, person, everyone wants happy, awesome people skills, not so great on staying on task. And the squiggle, creative, fun, party guy, not the best at planning things. Doesn't always move with the same urgency as the triangle. I'm sure as we look across the room, we can see our shapes that are around us, and you'll see them all. Success takes all four. I have my circle, I have my squiggle, and my rectangle. I tend to be a triangle. It is what it is. As you can imagine, when you get all four working together, you have everything you need.
Learned that from you, Mom.
And we are becoming unstoppable. I'm honored to be standing here as the 112th Master of Ezekiel Bates Lodge. Many great men of Attleboro have stood here in the same spot. Some are in this room. Worshipful Oberg, Worshipful Richards, Worshipful Thompson.
I think I want to.
Our lodge has become a family whose bonds of love are unbreakable. We have grieved together. We've celebrated together. We've had a good share of laughter together. And our family continues to grow, not only with new Masons, but babies.
Fucking kids.
So to our families, you know we have a lot of work to do. And I give you my word, I will not waste your husbands' and fathers' time. To the members of Ezekiel Bates Lodge, I am always here for you. I am far from perfect and expect you to point out when you think I'm not being perfect, as Brother Secretary tends to do. Right up front, I'm not Worshipful Gobin, but I intend to keep us on the path we are on, and will do my best to be circly. To the installing officers, I'm sure it seems odd to a couple of you why I chose you to be in the stations you were chosen to be in. So I'm going to try to explain. Worshipful Cunningham. When you enter a room, you are a presence larger than life. I had the honor of walking around a lodge room one night in chapter. I was ad Niram. That night made me fall in love with your bride. That is the only time I've gotten chills in a lodge room. Your leadership is phenomenal, and the way you handle ritual, though the words may not always be the same as what the book might say, you easily convince us. Glenn, you are one of my giants in masonry. The chaplain of the lodge is the spiritual compass.
I think I want
It helps to know what direction you are going in. Bill, you have been an unbelievable friend to me. We've made great stories together. I wouldn't trade any of them for the world, much to the chagrin of our wives. Wherever your spiritual compass leads you, you know that I'm right behind you. Heath, you have been a mentor to me since I became a Mason. Your constant rational thinking has been extremely frustrating to me. However, you have taught me to learn patience, as well as conflict resolution tactics. It seemed only fitting to have you as my marshal today, and I would not want anyone else by my side. Worshipful Keith McKinnon, Cambridge has an absolute gem in you, and I hope they understand what they have up there. When I first saw your junk collection, I was blown away. For those who don't know, Worshipful McKinnon's one of our recent recipients. We have a Batesy Award ceremony every May. And his collection of Masonic junk, as he calls it, earned him the Fred Sanford Salvage Man of the Year Award. You've taught me a lot about respecting and handling and maintaining Masonic items of all sorts. And I really appreciate that. My commander, Right Eminent Commander, Robert Maddox. You have the biggest heart in Masonry. You really do. When I met you, I didn't know what to expect. You were all over the place, running around, and I've learned a lot watching you as commander. And I look forward this year in line under you again. So thank you for making the trip out. Right Worshipful LeBlanc, I first saw your ritual in Nantucket a couple years ago, and I was blown away and couldn't believe that you offered to do the charge. And it was far beyond what I expected. And I think that Paul Revere himself would have been speechless. Thank you. Most Worshipful Yakabuchi. When we started traveling around Rhode Island a few years ago, we were sitting at Roger Williams' lodge when an organist began playing the Godfather theme. And then you appeared. That night, that night you gave an excellent talk on the Emerald Tablets. And it was the beginning of a beautiful relationship. Like Glenn, your personality captivates the room. Watching from afar, your true passion you have for people has taught me a lot.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I've heard that leadership is asking somebody how they are doing and truly caring about their response. And that's you. I was able to attend your ordination a couple of years ago, I think. Well, maybe a year ago. As I sat there, I thought to myself, I hope someday I'm able to impact people like you do. The Grand Lodge of Rhode Island is fortunate to have you, and I'm honored to be able to call you my friend. Over the past few years, Rhode Island Masons have shown this lodge so much support. Over the past 3 years, from selfies for Most Worshipful Chip, all around Rhode Island, to the amazing leadership of Most Worshipful Ray Hassel, as he promoted our event, Masonicon, across Rhode Island and drove up the attendance that day. And then he came and spent the day with us. From having a bacon burger dog at Manchester, the late night cigar with our brothers at Lafayette, the joint t-shirt designing at Jenks. We have benefited greatly from traveling across the borders, and for that, we thank you. Worshipful Govan, our circle. The Lodge's success is not possible without your devotion and leadership. We have traveled countless miles together, visiting lodges across New England and New York, and have formed a friendship that I wouldn't trade for the world. I'd like to recognize a few people in the audience. The monarch of our grotto, Brother Bill Swenson.
I'd like to bring you the warm greetings from our grotto. Congratulate you on today, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Worshipful Robert Goff, District Deputy of the Tall Cedars for District 15.
Worshipful Master, thank you for the recognition. Teresa and I would like to congratulate you and all the officers of Ezekiel Bates and wish you the best of success during your terms. Worshipful Keith, congratulations on your 2 years of success. And to the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the State of Rhode Island Plantations, it's always an honor and pleasure being here.
Thank you. Did the mayor make it in? Well, we'll talk to him upstairs. So a few notes before I get down from up here. Following the closing of the installation, we would like all Masons to stay in the room. We have our trial representative, Joe Rebelli, who's going to take a few pictures. Masons love to talk about their history, but they're horrible at keeping it. So after the installation, there will be a dinner upstairs in the Tower Lodge, probably about 45 minutes to an hour, but you're welcome to go up there early. There are adult beverages up there. We expect you to be responsible. My rectangle will be diligent in watching you and me. So I'm going to end with this. Let us endeavor so to live, so that when we come to die, even the undertaker will weep. Thank you.
chapel of Ezekiel Bates Lodge. Please be seated.
Are we gonna be leaving here?
It's an old song by now, but I'm fully aware that the Masonic custom which dictates that the Grand Master have the last word really means that I'm standing between you and a collation in adult beverages. I am called upon to recognize special members of my suite, the District Deputy Grand Master of the 16th District, Right Worshipful Chris Lindsay, and some special guests, my predecessors in the east of the Grand Lodge, Most Worshipful Donald G. Hicks Jr., and Most Worshipful Richard Stewart. Continuing the tradition of cross-border fraternalism, and I must say that I've picked up quite a few pieces of ritual today I've never heard before. I hope the Secretary took note of those because I think we'll include some of that. I would like to call on the Grand Master of Bates Lodge, Rhode Island, Most Worshipful Peter Iacobucci, for some fine thoughts.
Okay, I got so I don't have my back in the distinguished guest.
You please. It's fine.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I bring you the greetings of the Grand Lodge. Bates accepted Scottish Rite. That's a good So much for ritual. The state of Rhode Island is proud of its plantations. My own warm and fraternal greetings, and that of all the brethren from Rhode Island, and my wife Fran, so I don't have to buy her any more diamonds. I made that mistake once and never did it again. You learn to do it really quick. No, it's absolutely an honor, Most Worshipful Grand Master, to be here with you and to share the installation. And to you, Worshipful Master, our friendship and being part of this ceremony has been absolutely incredible. I really thank you for it. I know the thing with the Godfather was true. The rest you said, I don't know. I might have to debate that. But I think I have to have an apology anyways to you, Worshipful Master. Because I did make a mistake, but I did correct it, but you don't know I corrected it yet. All right? I did not have the chaplain go down to the pulpit, and I didn't pay attention at the practice, you know? And so what I did is I sat there and said a prayer for you, and for all the officers. But then I said a second prayer, and asked for forgiveness for me messing up. So I did two prayers. So anyways, you have been dutifully prayed upon. E-R-A-Y, not E-Y. Now, can all the brethren from Rhode Island stand just for 1 second? This is the fruits, and this is only a small portion of what Rhode Island thinks about its Ezekiel Bates. Okay, please sit, brethren.
I live right here.
You know, we have jurisdictional borders, which is nice, the jurisdictional line on the legality side. But in Masonry, there are no borders. And this is proof. Ezekiel Bates has proven that. There are no borders. They came across, we come across here, we share so much. Brotherly love extends beyond any borders. And what's absolutely beautiful is the relationship we have with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and your Most Worshipful Grand Master. It's absolutely stunning, and it really is an example of what life should be like. There is no reason for most of what goes on in the world, and we as brethren prove it by our diversity, our love for each other, and what we share. And this afternoon, when people could be doing anything they want to do on a Saturday afternoon, look at us. We're here to celebrate Masonry. We're here to celebrate 2 years of fantastic leadership. And a new leader, which I'm quite sure is going to be quite spectacular in its own. And I truly believe that. And across the border, when we talk about Ezekiel Bates, and I said this to the Most Worshipful Grand Master a couple of days ago, this lodge is a model lodge of Freemasonry. And the Commonwealth of Massachusetts should be extremely proud of what they've done. They've reached not across the border to Rhode Island, but as far as Connecticut, Ezekiel Bates is known. And again, that reflects so kindly on the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So I thank you for the honor to be here today and to share with you, Most Worshipful Grand Master. And past Grand Masters, I've known you for many years, and thank you also for sharing today with you. And all of you brethren, friends, family, thank you so much.
explain the source of your installation team, and I can only commend you on your choice. It was a wonderful, exciting installation. I do want to commend the organist, the unpaid hero of every installation, Brother Sudbury. Well done, sir. It struck me that an installation such as this results from and for the spirit that I see in this lodge. You've got a wonderful group of brethren here. You've got a bunch of spares across the border. Congratulations. To you, brethren, support your new master. I know you will. I look forward to great things from Ezekiel Bates Lodge. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Right worshipful Grand Marshal.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
You will escort the chaplain to the altar and then attend to the lights. Please rise.
Well done.
Supreme Architect of the universe, please watch over us and guide us. Help our new worshipful master guide us through this coming year and help us find more greatness, as I'm sure that we will. Amen.
So would it be.
My grandmother sang a song when I was a little girl. Grandmother voice. We're going home after here because I'm tired. We're not going to be selfish.
In a spirit of true fraternalism, I close this special communication of Ezekiel Bates Lodge in ample form.